the Legoland King's Castle. You can build this castle and always something new. And the team that dreams tomorrow up is Legoland and you.
Castle fans, rejoice, because the comeback of one of the best LEGO themes of all time is finally here with the 90th anniversary Lion Knights Castle. Hey everyone, I'm Adam, aka Ant Bandit, and welcome back to Beyond the Brick, where today we're taking a look at this absolutely massive castle. As always, thanks to the LEGO group for sending this over for us to review. This set has 4,514 pieces and releases in August for the retail price of $400 US. Now, that is a big price for a big set like this, but there is so much to explore. There's so many great details, building techniques, there's a huge collection of minifigs included, there's some surprising references and Easter eggs, and even new story details that expand on existing LEGO castle lore. Today, we're gonna dive in and try to find out if this is worth that large price tag.
Spoiler alert, if you're a castle fan, the answer is immediately yes.
So buckle up, because there is a lot to unpack here, and I mean that quite literally. So let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging for this model. The box for this set is also absolutely massive. We've got some really nice images on the front of the castle with that retro yellow background that looks so good. I know a lot of fans are gonna love how nostalgic this packaging is. In my opinion, this looks so much better than those black boxes. On the front of the box, you can also see the logo for the 90 years of play that this set commemorates. On the back, we have some more images of the back of the castle, along with some of the features and different functions that are included. Then on the top of the box, you have images of every single minifigure included in this set, and there are a lot of them, 21 to be exact, and 22 if you count the hidden skeleton minifig in the dungeon. Opening up the first flap of the box, we have our first interesting lore tidbit. We have descriptions for each of the three factions represented in the set: the Lion Knights, the Black Falcons, and the Forest Men. Feel free to pause if you'd like to read any of these in full. The most interesting bit being that the Lion Knights and the Black Falcons are apparently no longer enemies. Further in, on the inside flap of the box, you'll find some images of some of the printed shields that are included in this set, including one featured in the upcoming collectible minifigure. Inside the main box, you'll find a second white box, 26 numbered bags of pieces, and two very thick instruction manuals. Now, we have to talk about these two instruction manuals, because this is honestly some of the best presentation I've ever seen when it comes to something like this. Right off the bat, these don't have the newer design for instruction manuals that we're seeing pop up in a lot of the recent LEGO sets. The first few pages feature an extensive look into the history of the castle theme, a bit about the design of this new castle, and how it pays homage to the ones that have come before. There's also a few words from the design team. Shout out to these guys right here. I would love to know how I can get my hands on a giant LEGO flag and shield. Those look really cool. The best thing about these instructions, though, is that they're basically narrated by one of the characters in the set. As you're building, you'll notice these fun little quotes pop up that reference different Easter eggs or little tidbits of information about whatever you're building. I was surprised to see this reference to the Wolfpack Marauders, which seems to hint at a potential return for that faction. I wonder. Now let's talk about the build process. The entire assembly is separated into two sections. You've got the town or civilian side, and then the actual castle. Each section has its own instruction manual, so if you wanted to build this with your friend or your partner, each of you could take a section and build it together. Each section took me about 3 to 4 hours to put together, so you're looking at roughly 6 to 8 hours of total build time. First, let's look at the residential side of the castle. We've got this house sitting up high on the wall. I love the way this looks. There's some really great part usage to create that texture on the roof using these bear claw pieces. You can also see some of the new parts used to create those curved edges on the castle walls. Rotating this, you can see some of the details used to create some of those windows, along with those plants growing up the side of the castle, which look really cool. Of course, each section also opens up fully, so you can make it look even longer on the outside and reveal everything else on the inside. Personally, I love the way that this balcony on the front here becomes a walkway when it's folded out. That is such a cool detail. Inside, you can see all the living quarters for the minifigs. We have tons of rooms stocked with brick-built furniture. We've got a bedroom, we've got a dining room down here. I love this build for the table along with these really tall chairs. They look really cool. You can also see some of those printed shields hanging on the wall. Those are really great to get. We also get a micro build for that classic yellow castle, which is such a cool little Easter egg. Down below, there's a fully stocked kitchen with a huge oven and some never before seen white carrot pieces. On the other side, you can see the function of that spinning water wheel and a bunch of other details, including a closet and a bird that's nested up in the rafters. There's even a secret underground hideout for the forest men that you can access through a trapdoor underneath this food stall here. There's tons of weapons stored under there. You can tell that they definitely don't want to be found out. Now let's take a look at the actual castle, starting with this entryway. Now, I will say I really don't like the way this ramp looks at the front. It's built using large slopes that you can't attach minifigs to, and the incline itself is really steep. The ramp itself is a reference to those older raised base plates that were included in other castle sets, but in execution here, I really don't think it works. Thankfully, the rest of the castle looks absolutely incredible. The exterior looks stunning, and there's a lot of fascinating build techniques that go into creating things like the windows, the different arches, and all the different details you see on the outside. There's a great build for this black tree on the side of the castle and some awesome rockwork around the base. That rockwork also hides a secret entrance to that forestman hideout. The entry also features a working drawbridge. Let me say that again, working drawbridge. You can raise and lower it using this well-disguised knob on the side. There's also a functioning portcullis gate that you can raise by rotating this gear on the top of the tower. If you need to drop the portcullis back down, you can pull this lever on the top of the tower and it slams down just like that. There's actually a really nice clicking noise that the gears make as you raise the gate up. I don't know if that's something that the designers intended, but either way, it's really satisfying. Over on the back side of the castle, we've got a small dock with some blue plates meant to represent water. Maybe a rowboat could come up and use this as like a covert entrance. There's a really great build technique used for these angled stairs that I really like. There's also another gate here that you can raise and lower by twisting a knob on the other side of the wall. Of course, the castle looks even more impressive when you open it up, so let's go ahead and check out what's on the inside. Starting up top, we have a fully stocked armory with all kinds of medieval weapons like swords, spears, bows, anything to keep out intruders. You can also see we've got two more of those printed shields mounted on the wall. Now, I know what you're thinking. What medieval castle would be complete without a toilet? So of course, we've got one of those here, complete with a toilet paper roll. I would just recommend not standing directly below this window because clearly that's a danger zone. Going down to the second level, you can see there's some more passageways stocked with armor, some more of those shields. Inside the main entryway, there's even a stable where you can stow a horse when you arrive at the castle. On the ground level, you can see there's a treasure chest secretly stored underneath the staircase. Inside it, you can find 5 of the coin pieces used in the Series 22 bar, so it's really cool to see those get reused. Of course, every castle needs a good dungeon. So we have 2 jail cells here. One of them has a skeleton inside. The other one has a secret. You can actually break out the prisoner by sliding away this rock wall on the exterior, which leads directly out of the jail cell. It's just too bad this skeleton in the right jail cell had no way to escape. If you raise the drawbridge, any minifig that's currently standing on it gets sent straight to the dungeon. Now, you're free to display each section separately if that's something that you want to do, but you're probably going to want to connect it to make the full castle. If you have a limited display space, you can keep the sides folded up, but I think it looks most impressive with both sides fully extended out. Just keep in mind that it has to stay at this angle and the back of the castle won't go flush with a wall if you're putting it up on a shelf. Now, the Lion Knight's castle is not a direct remake of a set like the Galaxy Explorer, but it does take a lot of inspiration from 6080 King's Castle, which released in 1984, which I happen to have a copy of right here. Now, I love seeing these two side by side because it's clear just how far LEGO's design process and the sophistication of their part usage have come in the last 28 years. The original castles are full of so much charm and nostalgia, and all of that is honored and amplified in this new version. Now let's talk about the army of minifigs that you get in this set. There are so many great ones here, so let's go ahead and dive in. First up, we have the peasants or civilians of the castle. Now these are absolutely great to get because, as castle fans know, civilians are a scarcity in the castle theme. First up, we have this farmer with his pitchfork. The head is actually reused from the new wizard in the Build a Minifigure in LEGO stores, but the torso is actually brand new and looks great. Next up, we have a child that uses one of the new hair pieces from this year and reuses the torso from the Bard CMF. It would have been great to get a recolor of that torso print, but it's a good looking torso and works great for this set. We also have a reuse of the torso and legs from the medieval blacksmith shop, but I really like the expression and hairpiece used on this civilian. This female civilian is entirely brand new and exclusive to this set and uses a great new piece for that medieval hair covering. I'm sure this one will be sought after for collectors just for that headpiece. The farmer is accompanied by his ox, newly colored in medium nougat. Looks really good, pulling a small build for a wagon. Next, I'm not sure if he classifies as a civilian or not, but we have the wizard character. This is supposed to be the original wizard from the old castle theme showing up again, so it's great to have him included in this set. I am disappointed by the lack of printing on his clothes. It would have been awesome to see some kind of stars or magical print on his robe instead of those plain blue pieces. Next, we have what I can only assume is a family of forestmen with a father, mother, and a daughter. These are pretty self-explanatory and all use the same torso piece from that new forestman gift with purchase. We also get a baby lamb figure. This is the same mold that showed up in the City Farm set, but it's nice to get another one of those here. Next, let's talk about our iconic Black Falcons. Of course, these are from one of the most famous factions in the castle line. It's been great to see these figures show up in sets like the Medieval Blacksmith Shop, the Creator 3-in-1 Castle, and we have them again here. First, we have a standard foot soldier carrying a blue and yellow banner. Then we have the Black Falcon Knight riding a tan horse covered in the very first Black Falcon horse barding. This is a brand new piece. I'm sure fans of this faction are going to be really excited about that. Lastly, we have the poor Patsy carrying all of their gear. Last but not least, let's talk about the Lion Knights. In total, you get 9 warriors and the Lion Knight Queen herself. All of the warriors use the same brand new prints for the torsos and leg pieces, but they all have different facial expressions. You have axe wielders, archers, a trumpet player, and even a knight riding a horse wearing that brand new barding piece in red. The Queen minifig gets an exclusive print for her torso and her leg pieces. She's also wearing a really nice printed cape that's made of that old cape material. She gets a hairpiece with a crown, but you can swap it out with her royal armor if she needs to get ready for battle. Phew, that was a lot of minifigures. All right, let's wrap things up with some overall impressions. All in all, this is an incredible set with a fantastic build experience, some fun story elements, and a whole collection of great minifigs, and I'm really excited about what this set might mean for the future of LEGO Castle. However, I do have to criticize that price of $400. Even with all the value that we've talked about so far and how great this set is, it still feels like it should have been priced closer to $350. That big price tag might be a lot for mini fans to swallow, especially with all of the recent LEGO price increases. I will break it down to this. If you're a classic castle fan, then I cannot recommend this set enough to you. You will get a ton of value out of it and you will enjoy every single minute you spend with it. But if you're more a general classic LEGO fan and you're working on a budget like a lot of people, I'd actually recommend looking at a set like the Galaxy Explorer over this one. That's also a great retro build with a ton of value for a much lower price of $100 as opposed to $400. Of course, it's entirely up to you how you choose which sets you want to budget for, and if this castle is within your budget, I know you're going to love it as much as I do. And with that, that's all I have for this review. If you're looking for more awesome LEGO content, you're already in the right place here on Beyond the Brick. Once again, I'm Adam. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.